Yo, what's going on, guys? Emperor Weave here, and today we're obviously going to be talking about the latest and greatest new One Piece chapter 1018. It still kind of shocks me to this day that I'm putting 4 digits in my thumbnail instead of 3. Anyway, I'm really glad that we're picking up where we left off with Jinbei and Who's Who, due to the fact that during this battle, we've been learning not only a lot about Who's past, but we've also been learning a little more about Jinbei as a character. There's not anything really astronomical about his character, but just little details. And it makes sense that we're getting this right now considering that he's the new Straw Hat. Anyway, let's get right into the chapter. So we start this chapter off on a live floor where we see that a lot of gifters have started listening to Tama's orders and started betraying Kaido. And just like it was stated last chapter, Kaido's men starts to target Tama because, you know, that's the obvious thing to do. But as they try to stop her, they're stopped by other gifters. In particular, this time we see Daifugo, the gifter from the Udon prisoner mines, and he gives her a thumbs up. And just in that moment, Gazelle Man and Speed also comes to her side, which leads to a pretty funny gag where we see that Speed only picks up the women and pretty much leaves my boy Usopp hanging. My boy just can't get a break. Tama has a pretty unique ability, and it's really only useful for this particular pirate crew. You know, the Beast Pirates. It kind of makes me wonder whether or not these gifters stay like this for life or whether there's some kind of time limit, because it literally takes away their free will. Also, I've been seeing a lot of theories about this ability possibly being planted in Wano for this particular battle. Who knows? In the comment section, what do you guys think about that theory? Let me know. We also get some real closure between Nami and Zeus, where we see that Zeus asks Nami to be her servant again. But Nami responds by saying that she'd rather be partners with Zeus, which gets him highly excited and causes him to start eliminating enemies and clearing a path for Tama and them. I really like this moment, and seeing how Zeus doesn't really change her fighting style and how it only enhances her fighting style, it's the perfect power up for Nami. And I also have a personal love for combined partnerships between humans and sentient beings for some reason. Don't ask me why, I just love the partnerships. They're always dope to me. Anyway, we cut to CB0 and get an update of the battlefield due to Tama's ability tipping the scale even further. The new number is 16,000 versus 9,000, which is insanely close now. You would have never thought that this battle would have turned out like this, especially based off of the beginning numbers. And now that we know about Who's past with the government, CP0 expounded on the subject. They don't really care who wins this battle as long as both sides end up weakening each other in the grand scheme of things. But they do want to make sure that Who's Who doesn't make it out of here alive for obvious reasons. Even though the information he knows is outdated, he's still an escapee. So they kind of place their hopes that Jinbei can take him out so that they don't have to interfere. I mean, he was once a warlord, so I'd probably place my hopes on that too. Speaking of which, we go back to their insane battle, where we get the full hype of the title of the chapter, Jinbei versus Who's Who. This was kind of my question as well, because I was also thinking that it was kind of childish for Who's Who to target Luffy simply because he ate the rubber fruit, because after it was stolen, it could have honestly ended up anywhere. But Who's Who basically stated that it's the added bonus of Luffy also having Shanks' hat, which kind of signifies that they both have a relationship. Which kind of makes his grudge a little more sensible, but at the same time, it's still kind of a stupid reason. But whatever. As they're talking, we see Who's Who firing off multiple Fang pistols, and Jinbei continuously blocking and then dodging due to him knowing that normal armament wouldn't work against that ability. It wouldn't be able to block the attack completely. Who's Who's rain of Fang pistols even affected the people on the floor below. That just shows how powerful they were and how wise Jinbei is by dodging. Who's Who mentions how well Jinbei can move out of water as a fishman, but obviously my boy didn't want to hear none of that nonsense. Who's Who uses a new technique that clashes with Jinbei's armament covered fist. Even his teeth is covered in armament it seems like, but Jinbei holds him off, and he takes the opportunity to use fishman jujitsu and slam Who's Who on the back of his head by his teeth. You've gotta love Jinbei's fighting style. A lot of the time, they're just regular techniques that anyone could use in real life, but with a fishman twist. Jinbei tried to finish him with some water shots while he was down, but he hops out of the way and jumps on a pillar with his speed. The way he's grabbing onto that pillar is extremely cat-like, by the way. I just wanted to let y'all know that. And this is where we get a little more information from Who's Who's past. When Who's Who was being imprisoned and tortured, someone told him to pray to the god of Sun, Nika. Apparently that was a warrior who could relieve people of their pains and help them to smile. And one day he would liberate the slaves of the world. So Who's Who prayed. And the reason he brought this up to Jinbei was because he was a part of the fisherman group known as the Sun Pirates, and fishermen have a history of enslavement. So he thought that Jinbei would know something about this, considering that it correlates almost perfectly. Through all of the talking though, two things are for certain. This fight was hype, and Jinbei is an absolute beast. From him being able to tank so much damage from upgraded versions of devastating pre-time skip techniques, to him being able to break Who's Who's finger and wrist with his haki, to him stepping on his tail and destroying Who's Who with his demon tile fist, while also collapsing the floor, was truly a sight to see. Who's Who's demise was pretty much that big mouth of his. It's actually kind of funny because he went from being the mystery character to being extremely talkative. There's a lot of really great panels in this fight as well. I'm glad that Oda decided to devote a good amount of panels to a decent 1v1 with the boss. Lore is always great, but that instant gratification I get from a good fight is almost unmatchable. It's the meathead inside me that loves instant battle. I can't help it. And it was really good to see old school techniques come back into play. I'm pretty sure that we've seen that shark grip from Hody Jones in Fishman Island. And we've also seen that barrage of finger pistols from Rob Lucci back in Impel Down. Impel Down? What am I talking about? Enies Lobby. But all in all, this was a really good read. I'm just a bit confused on why Jinbei was getting upset with Who's Who's words. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing something. I'm pretty sure I am. Anyway, this is the end of the video. Like and subscribe if you're new. Click that notification bell to stay up to date with my latest content. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.